Hello, beautiful souls. It's Self Love Sunday. And while everybody chimes in, I thought I'd start off with a little sound bowl. So without further ado, I'm also gonna cleanse the space. Let's see if I can find a lighter. Burn some sage too. I love these live updates, and that's actually something that I'm gonna share about today. This is white sage. A lot of cultures, including Native Americans, use this to cleanse the air. So we'll just get started with that. Soak it all in. Bless you and yours. Okay. How's everybody doing today? It's Self-Love Sunday. We're gonna start off with a little sound bowl and then we'll jump into it. So you can allow your eyes to close, bringing you into the present moment. You can take a few deep breaths in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, holding it, breathing out, breathing in, holding it in, breathing out. You can breathe in for a count of 3, hold for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 3. You can continue this breath pattern using your breath as an anchor into the present moment. You can focus in on the sound bowl, bringing you into the present moment, feeling all your worries and cares of the day wither away. You can feel your attention come into your body, come into this present moment. You can continue deep breath, deep breathing, bringing you into this glorious present moment. Few deep breaths here. As some of you may know, our breath is connected to our heartbeat. So as we slow our breath down, we also simultaneously slow down our heartbeat. And so many of us are in the fight or flight state that we can go into the rest and digest, the relaxation state that repairs your body. And so as we attune ourselves to relax, we can keep that state present with us and just function out of that fight or flight, or that rest and digest state. So let's continue deep breathing, jam out on the sound bowl, and then we'll jump into this talk. Continue deep breathing, listening to the sound bowl as everybody tunes in. Hello Heather, hello Rachel, welcome. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you get something awesome out of this. We're just tuning into the sound bowl, tuning into our breath, bringing our presence and our attention and concentration into the present moment. You can bring your attention back to your breath, back to your body. back to the 3-3-3 breathing, focusing on the sound bowl, drawing you in, keeping you present. Breathing in and out into the present moment. Hello everybody, welcome. So it's Self-Love Sunday, so I figured I'd start with a little sambo. And that's actually part of the reason that I wanted to make this live to begin with. So I got up early today from the spa that I work at, and I was super excited. There was a whole big fiasco with that, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the skills of reasoning that I've learned to deal with stuff like that. And, you know, it's all relevant because that's what we're going to talk about today. So it's Self-Love Sunday, and I started this, I want to say like a year ago or a year or maybe even more. And I love this term Self-Love Sunday because basically it's a day to remind ourselves of our self-value, our commitment to ourselves, and hello, self-love. And so I just wanted to share about that, share about self-love. I wanted to share about self-value and building self-value and self-love. And so I'll start with, let me start with my announcements first. That's actually what I'm going to start with to begin with. Hello, everybody. Thanks for chiming on in. I'm doing live on self-love, self-value, and announcing some announcements of my life. So I'm actually, time has flown by. I started the 365 days of happiness on my birthday, and we're already 260 days plus, and I've kind of been falling off the wagon and I haven't been sharing every day. So I want to share more, and part of the reason was I wanted to use this platform to help me keep going. And so since we're on the last 100 days of the 365 days of happiness, actually what I want to start doing is 100 days of live. And so I've already done a few, I don't know if you caught those, you can catch them on my timeline. But so now we're going into this last 100 days of my personal year, of my 25th year. And so I want to start doing lives every single day. I know that this is going to be challenging, but it's to help keep the commitment up to myself, and not only myself, but to you all. I started this journey with sharing these tools for self-help to not only help the commitment to myself, but like always help people like you. In the past 5 years or so, I've really committed to this spiritual journey and to really committing to myself. And my life has changed beyond measures, and I want to help people like you do the same thing, because a lot of us think that our life is out of our control or that we're not creating our reality, and that's simply not true. I know a lot of amazing people that get what they want because they work for it and they know how to work for it. So that leads me into that. So the first thing is that I'm going to start doing lives every day, so be on the lookout. I have a business, a massage therapy, yoga, Reiki business called Metatherapy. So I might be sharing from there. I might be sharing from my fan page, Charlie Satnam, where I put all my content from my YouTube, my Instagram. Am I forgetting anything else? Also, there may be some other things, but so Charlie Satnam, Metatherapy, and then lastly, this personal page. So this personal page, I have the most followers on. I have like over 1,500. And so I'm most likely gonna share from this and start segueing to each of those. So yeah, and then lastly, I have an Instagram, and they do their own version of live, and so does YouTube. So I might even mix that up throughout the week. But, so I wanted to share about that. I wanted to share about how those announcements. And then also, if you haven't heard by now, I'm going to be at the Holistic Fair September 9th. It's a Sunday, and I'm going to be selling all kinds of stuff. I've been working on formulating lotions. I have this awesome pain gel that my clients love. It's similar to Tiger's Balm, and BioFreeze. The only thing though, it doesn't have parabens or any gross stuff in there. Our skin is our biggest organ, so we want to take care of it. And not only do we want to take care of it, but as a massage therapist, what I'm putting on my clients' bodies is also going into mine, it's going into my hands. So I really care about the quality of products that not only that I use in my practice, but also what I use, you know, that also go into my body and my client's body, which is most important to me. So yeah, so I'm going to be selling stuff like that. I have like clay pendants that I've made. I don't know if y'all can see these, but yeah, I made these clay pendants and they're made out of terracotta, and they're actually awesome because you can infuse them with oils, and they're amazing because, as you know, a lot of us use terracotta pots for our plants, and it's because they're so they soak up extra moisture, and so they're amazing with soaking up oils, and so they're actually diffusers. So they're terracotta clay diffusers. So I would definitely suggest being there. I have all kinds of stuff. I've made like clay beads, and then here are all at the end of this, I'll show y'all all the stuff that I've made. But I've been a busy bee. I plan to thrive in self-employment, and so with it, I'm going to be at a lot of festivals around here. So the Holistic Fair is every other month, and they have all kinds of vendors there. They have all kinds of vendors there selling stuff. They have psychics, they have mediums, they have aura photographs, they have massage therapists like myself and healers like myself sharing their gifts. And so it's at Billy Bob's, the biggest country club in the world here in Fort Worth, Texas. And so I'd love to see y'all all there. There's amazing people there. My friend Jason puts on the Holistic Fair, and a ton of awesome people go there. So I'd love to see all of you there to see what stuff I got. I also have these smudge sticks that I started this live with made. And so this one has cedarwood, and not only cedarwood, but also sage, white sage. And all my stuff that I make, it's organic if possible, or locally sourced. I go in between. I like to keep plants native if I buy them. So definitely, if you are looking for awesome homemade stuff that have natural ingredients that you understand, and also you like to support small businesses, be there it's September 9th, Sunday, 12 to 7, I believe, at Billy Bob's. And I'll share more info about that from my business page. So I definitely love to see you all. Hello, Katara. Hello, Mel. Thanks for chiming in. I'm just sharing a few announcements before I get started to talk about self-love and self-value. So yeah, so the first two is that I'm going to start sharing lives every day for this last 100 days of my 365 days of happiness. And then the second is that I'll be at the Holistic Fair. And also, I don't know if y'all have heard here in Fort Worth about the Urban Traders vendor market, but they are putting some awesome stuff on too here around Fort Worth. So I'm looking to be part of that. If any of you know any of other markets or anything like that around here, drop them in the comments below, because I'd love to be part of them. I've been making lotions and scrubs and bath bombs for like years as gifts for my clients, for my friends and family. And so it's now that I've like really distilled and refined the recipes, because a lot of them have different stuff, and I've been trying to formulate vegan stuff. And so I've made lip balms that are now vegan, and they use plant waxes instead of beeswax. I love our bees and I want to support them, but also I want everybody to be able to use my products. So I try to keep them gluten-free, vegan, paraben-free, whole natural. So yeah, so without further ado, let's talk about self-love and self-value. So as I was saying, I started this self-love journey quite a while back, and I started doing self-love Sundays, and now since I started this 365 days of happiness, I feel like it's on fire. And I feel like I've attracted so many awesome people to my life. Some of these people that are commenting in here, actually, so it's also awesome to see them. And I wanted to talk about, with this doing these lives, I plan to do yoga and share free yoga with you all and meditations. I thought about doing Monday meditations to start off the week right. And I want to share the number one thing that I hear when I talk about yoga with my clients, with my family members, and with my friends. And it's the number one thing that I sadly hear is, oh, I can never do yoga because this long list of things. And that's part of the reason that I want to share is, obviously I don't have the typical body type that go to yoga, or even gender or race. And that's what I want to share with you all, is that yoga means union. So it's for everybody. And I feel like everybody says these things of, oh, hey, I can't do yoga because I'm old, fat, stressed, all kinds of stuff. And I feel like really what it has to do with is self-value. There's some amazing advocates out there for self-love and body image, and they are not your typical body type that you think that you would see in these yoga classes. And they're amazing teachers, and like, they've inspired me so much. I'll share a few of their videos down below, but I just want to get this out there that yoga means union, and it's not about anybody else. It's not about who's next to you in class or whatever. It's about you. It's a union between yourself and God. So it's like, I want to share yoga and meditation because it's for everybody. It's not for certain types of people. It's for everybody. And so that's what I'd love to share with y'all, these tools that are universal. They're not for certain people or certain situations. They're for every single person, every single situation that you can use in your life to create a life that you love. And that's the whole purpose that I'm going for, is creating a life that you love. And so the first thing, is self-value and self-love. And so that's what I hope. Yoga has helped me build that self-confidence. It's like working out, but it's also, you see further and further, and studies show that anything you commit to, those neural pathways are getting stronger in your brain. But also studies show that when you do yoga often, that the mindfulness in yoga spills over into the rest of your life. So it's like not only contained in your yoga class, it spills over in your life. And I feel like this mindfulness has helped me so much. And I read a study the other day showing how yoga helps with overeating and self-value, actually. And the studies show that people felt like they didn't have to engorge themselves or indulge after yoga because they are mindful of their body and mindful of their presence, and they're in the present moment. And I feel like so often we're not in the present moment. We're in our thoughts, we're in our inner critic, and we forget our boundaries for our self-value and our self-worth, and so it starts to diminish. And so that's why I've made it a thing every Sunday to commit to, this is my time, this is my self-value, this is my self-love. And I love this because, yes, it's one day, and clearly we should be doing this every day, but I'm helping raise awareness not only for myself, but for people like you, that we are so important. We have so much self-value, and it's important to have self-love. And so a lot of us, I feel like, don't really set boundaries, or I don't want to say respect ourselves, but I know there in the past, I didn't really respect myself. And I've always been one of those people that wants to help anybody that's willing. And so I feel like for a long time, I didn't set out boundaries to love myself. And it doesn't have to be yoga, it doesn't have to be meditation. Whether it's knitting on the couch, or going on a walk, or watching your favorite cartoon or something. I don't know, whatever you feel like that you can do for yourself, I feel like is so important. And I feel like self-value, self-esteem has to do with these commitments to ourselves. And I feel like when we overstretch ourselves, it diminishes our self-value. And so we kind of just see ourselves as that archetype of the wounded healer. It's like we're continuously giving but not filling up our cup ever. And so if there's anything that you can get from this today, is that I hope you take time for yourself to worship yourself and get into communion with God and your higher self. I love the term capital S self because it shows that it's your higher self. It's your aspect of God. It's your higher connection to God. And so that's why I love the term higher S or capital S self, because we can honor this version of ourselves every day and then come into terms of living it every day. And so that's why a lot of you can see that I use the term self. I'll separate yourself because I'm talking about your higher self. So I feel like on this journey of 365 days of happiness, I've learned how to have self-love and how to set those boundaries of, I don't necessarily want to do that, so I'm not going to do that because of my mental state. And I feel like mental state, mental health, self-value, self-love, they all go hand in hand. And it's that, hello, Teresa. Hello, everybody that's chiming in, all these chimes. I love you all just because you are, and thanks for joining me today. We're talking about self-love. We're talking about self-value. We're talking about setting boundaries. And I feel like on this journey of 365 days of happiness, I've learned how to set these boundaries, and that our mental state, our mental health is so important because we won't be able to give if our cup isn't filled up. And I feel like that's where we're at, is like, I know some amazing people who have this like high self-esteem and high self-value, and they're also some of the greatest people I've met because I feel like they're just continually pulling from source, which as energy healers and just anybody, we're supposed to be doing anyways. We're supposed to be pulling from God. And a lot of us, I feel like, pull from ourselves until we're like dwindled away and withered away. And I feel like a lot of us can use this time to love ourselves, to do stuff for ourselves, and not just because we have to, not just because society says that we need to do all these list of things. At the end of the day, this life is about your self-learning, your permanent understanding, what you have to do. And so that's what I love about this journey, is that it sounds selfish, but at the end of the day, you have to be a little selfish because you have to protect yourself. And then when you protect yourself, you have the capacity, you have that open capacity to care for others. It's like a mirror. And I like to use this analogy. I used it today with one of my clients, that sometimes during a session I get so relaxed, but it's that I have to get relaxed, because how would I tell my client to relax and I'm not relaxing? And my favorite way to get my clients to breathe is breathing myself. And so I feel like not only in my career, but also hopefully for y'all and hopefully for everybody, it's that we can be a living mirror for our friends and family and our loved ones, and that the things that we do in our life are contagious. I know a lot of awesome people, amazing people, and simply how I've learned is just by watching them. Some of the best, stable, grounded people in my life, I feel like I've asked them questions and inquired, but really they're just living testaments to the things they believe. And I'm so grateful for these people in my life, because monkey see, monkey do. I mean, there's a reason that in the past people have had mentors and sages and teachers. It's that we learn best by seeing. And so if there's anything you take away from this today, it's that you have so much self-love and so much self-value that you need to honor that. And I hope that you do, because like I said, this life's about you and what you have to do to share with all of us. And I feel like I fought that so long. My whole life, I fought this capacity and feeling to help share and teach. And so when I started this journey of learning about metaphysics, the laws and truths that govern our universe, I was asked multiple times to teach and share, and I fought them each time because I feel like I didn't have the capacity. I thought, who am I? I'm just 20-something. What do I have to teach to anybody? And it's actually my partner who shared that I helped him through a lot of things, which I had no idea at the time. Now I do. We work a lot together. And he told me this. He said, even if you help one person even if you help one person, your job is accomplished. And I feel like that changed my life because I'm a Sagittarius. I am this big optimist. So I'm like, I want thousands. I want to help thousands of people. And it all starts somewhere. And I feel like that's how we are with self-love and self-value. It's like, where do we start? And I feel like that's my life purpose. It's to help people get on track with valuing themselves, creating a life that they love. And so I feel like I have a lot of feelings, apparently. I feel like I'm so thankful for the mentors in my life and the teachers, and I'm so thankful that I'm at the point in my life where I want to share. Like I told you in all of my other videos, I've tried every path in my life, and it didn't work out because it wasn't for me. It wasn't authentic. What I'm saying is I've tried every path that everybody told me. I tried all these things, all these societal things that people have told me, and I was so unhappy. And here I am, flash forward many years later, and I'm now on my own path, and I've never been happier. And people have been telling me I never have seemed happier, and I'm bursting at the seams. I have to share because this is my life purpose. And so, hello, Danya. Hello, Andrea. Hello, everybody chiming on in. We're talking about self-love. We're talking about self-value, and setting boundaries and committing to yourself. And one of the things that I feel like holds us back, I've shared this on some of my YouTube videos, is our own inner critic. I feel a lot of times our own inner critic, it gets out of control. I watched a talk the other day, and they were talking about how our inner critic says a lot of stuff that isn't true. And it says, she said, sometimes your inner critic can be a jerk. Or if we listen to the reel of thoughts that our inner critic says to us, it wouldn't be somebody we would hang out with if that was a person. A lot of times our inner critic, our inner ego, who we can train to help us, a lot of time our inner ego or inner critic is telling us stuff like, I'm not good enough, or I'm unworthy, or I'm silly, I'm stupid. The list goes on. And a valuable tool that I found that you can use for that is to change those I statements to you. You're not this, you're not that, you won't be able to do that. And then you'll see that it sounds so silly, all of these things. And what this you statement does is it turns this into a foreign, alien aspect. And so you start to disassociate these feelings, and you start to see how you can be in charge of this inner critic and train it for this self-value. That's what I've done in these past few years, is that you can train this neural pathway in your brain to work for you. And so you'll no longer be thinking, I'm unworthy, I'm silly, or you'll start hearing it as you this, and you'll shut that up. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight or it's instantaneous. I'm saying it's worth it because we're not really taught how to do things like this. We're not even taught that we can control our emotions or our thoughts. And it's that we can. It takes a lot of work, but it's priceless and worth it. And so I hope that you all set boundaries, that you set these boundaries for your self-value to skyrocket and for your self-love to grow, and train that inner critic. So that'll be our homework today. It's that start noticing your inner critic when it comes in throughout the day, and when it does, turn it around. Turn it around. You can replace it with a you statement, or you can replace it with an affirmation like, the universe is constantly conspiring in my favor. That's one of my favorite affirmations. Let's think about that really quick. The universe, which we're making up right now, which what we are part of, all of us, is constantly conspiring. So conspiring, it's in our favor. So the universe, it wants you to have what you want. Law of attraction, stuff like that. Abraham Hicks, who's a prophet, she says, the universe doesn't know what you say, it knows what you mean and feel. And a lot of times we think that the universe this reality is out of our control. And so putting little tools like this of having self-love, having self-value, like attracts like. So I've met so many amazing people in my life because I feel like I was exuding confidence and love, and like attracts like, and I've attracted so many amazing people in my life who have these qualities down. And so it's said that one positive thought can cancel out 1,000 negative. Think about that. One positive thought can cancel out a lot of negative thoughts. And so every time that you correct yourself, you're strengthening that neural pathway. You're forging that thought pattern. And all of these other thought patterns can wither away. So I'd love for you to join me on this journey of self-love, self-value, and how you can train your brain and be in charge of your own reality and create awesome things. If you watch some of my other live videos, you heard this, but I'll share it with y'all. It's that I was watching this talk from a neuroscientist the other day, and he said the best way to create your the best way to predict your reality is to create it. And I feel like a lot of us don't set out on these goals and aspirations because we're unworthy, or at least we think. And so we can be worthy by making up our mind to be damn worthy. Thanks, Sharissa. Let's read this comment. Boundaries, lots of great messages, Charlie. Glad I chimed in. Thank you for being you. Thank you, Sharissa. Thank you for being you. Like I said earlier, I've been every person that I was told to be, and I'm being the person that I want to be now because it's what I need to do. It's God is like chiming himself through, and it's like I've shared every message that I feel like is available to me, and I'm sharing the messages that I've come to term with in my life, and I hope to be a living testament of these things to share. And like always, I hope to use you, beautiful people, to help me be in tune with these principles and to help me being a living testament to these. Hello, Tiffany. Welcome. We're talking about self-love. We're talking about self-value. I talked about setting boundaries, and it's Self-Love Sunday, so I like to talk about things like this all the time. I've shared about how these aspirations of mine have been a long thing in my life, and now I'm just sharing them and tuning in. And so I hope today on Self-Love Sunday and every Sunday, because we're going to be doing this, that you value yourself, you set out time, and maybe it's a different day, maybe it's a different time every day, but do something for yourself, whether it means waking up and telling yourself today's going to be awesome, or I'm so kick-ass, or I deserve this so much. Because at the end of the day, you deserve anything that you could ever want. The difference between us and great people is that they accept that they're great. And so I love you all just because you are. I just got some new Palo Santo in. I haven't even burned any. Do any of y'all know what Palo Santo is? I know you do, Sharissa. I've actually been wanting to get my hands on some Palo Santo. This one's from Peru. I'm not sure if they grow it in Texas, honestly. I like to get plants from where they're native. So yeah. So like I said, I'll finish with this. I love you all just because you are. You have so much self-value. You have so much self-worth, and you are worth it. There was once a time in your life where you were dreaming for what you have now. And in retrospect, you'll be the same way in the future. And so I love you all just because you are. I hope to talk with y'all. Like I said, I'm going to be at the Holistic Fair September 9th to share all this goodies with you. Oh, I'll come get some, Sharissa. I love you all just because you are. I hope you got something out of this today, and I hope that you can be the best version of yourself, because I believe in you. So many people believe in you, whether you think that you're alone, you're not. And if you're going through something tough, I'm here for you. And go out there and live the best of life. Go be the best version of yourself because you're worth it. I love you all just because you are. Sat Nam. Sat Nam means truth is my name, and truth is your name. Your soul is your name. Have a great day.